In the last 2 years, Anthony Edwards has taken a noticeable leap and become a capable go-to star on a championship-level team, but this leap has also brought some extreme controversy. Last season, Ant was compared to a young Michael Jordan, which enraged a lot of people, but in this year's playoffs against the Warriors, Ant scored his 1,000th playoff point, becoming just the 6th player in NBA history with 1,000 playoff points before the age of 24. The other 5 players on that list are all Hall of Famers or Hall of Famers to be in Kobe Bryant, Tony Parker, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Jason Tatum. Impressive. And Anthony Edwards has also brought the Timberwolves to their 2nd straight Western Conference Finals appearance, which is remarkable, as in the 31 years before Ant was drafted to the Timberwolves, they made just 1 conference finals in their franchise history, which means we need to keep in mind Anthony Edwards is just 23 years old. The next Michael Jordan is probably a stretch, but the question still remains here. Just how good can Anthony Edwards become? Is he taking another leap in front of our eyes and becoming the face of the NBA he was hyped to be just last season? So what's up, Mike here, and we have a clip we have to watch, but first, if you are new to the channel and you like this content, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications, only if you are enjoying the video, and I would really appreciate it. Now, let's watch this clip.
On the part of the Timberwolves on the weak side. It's created now 2 opportunities. Oh my goodness! Anthony Edwards scrapes the sky and flushes it.
Poster dunks are always fun to watch, but they're also very important because in tight games, they can give your team the type of energy and emotion they need in order to get over the hump and bring home a win. And it is actually these insane poster dunks and athletic plays that led to Anthony Edwards getting compared to Michael Jordan last season, which to me was actually the worst thing that could have possibly happened to him. Ant was compared to the literal GOAT. Yes, Ant did not perform to the standards of the best basketball player to ever live, but how are we going to fault him for not living up to a narrative that the media created? Let's take Mike out of the equation here and instead let me show you just how impressive Ant truly has been at this young of an age. Taking a look at Hall of Famers or Hall of Famers to be, we see that Ant is performing at a historic level amongst young guards. Looking at all of these players at the age of 23, we find that Anthony Edwards actually leads this group in points per game and rebounds per game. His only downside is that he is last in assists per game, but that has changed in the playoffs. In the playoffs, compared to this elite group, Ant again fits right in or stands out depending on how you want to look at it, as he is 3rd in points per game, 2nd in assists per game, and 1st in rebounds per game. Going even further here, his advanced numbers are great too. 3rd in PER, 1st in win shares per 48 minutes, 1st in box score plus minus. So he's not Michael Jordan, okay, but Ant is only in year 5, and maybe it's because he's already been so good so fast that many are expecting even more from him. But let's keep in mind here, Steph Curry won his first MVP at 26. Russell Westbrook won his only MVP at 28. Same for James Harden, he was 28, and Kobe Bryant won his only MVP at 29. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade never won an MVP. Anthony Edwards has been more than just impressive. He has been keeping up the same pace as NBA legends. The fact that Ant just led the Timberwolves to their 2nd straight conference finals as the clear-cut #1 player on his team is a true sign of greatness to come. It is a sign that we should be on the lookout for another leap soon, as Ant is continuing to prove that he is a winning basketball player and that his overall game is improving, as we have to look at his passing here. But before we continue, I want to thank Uber Eats for sponsoring today's video, because as someone who works from home, life can get really busy, but that does not mean I should skip meals. Thankfully, Uber Eats has me covered and I can stay fueled and energized without missing a beat. Ordering from Uber Eats is fast and simple, plus they have all of my favorite food options. Whether I'm working late or I just don't feel like cooking, I can count on Uber Eats to have me covered. Plus, use my code Mike15 to get $15 off your first $20 order. That is a no-brainer. That is again, Mike15 for $15 off your first $20 order. Thank you to Uber Eats for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back into that video. Ant has raised his assists per game in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, and this year is no different. He averaged 4.5 assists per game in the regular season, and now in the playoffs is averaging 5.9 to go along with 8 rebounds per game. These stats are very important for 3 reasons. 1, the best players in NBA history have always raised their overall games when the lights are the brightest in the playoffs. 2, the all-time greats also show noticeable improvements year after year. Both Kobe and Michael Jordan specifically said they always wanted to come back from every offseason with one part of their game noticeably improved. And 3, making your teammates better is the key to not just being an empty stat superstar, but to being an actual impactful winning basketball player. Because as we know, the most important stat in the NBA is wins. But there's also one more thing that truly makes a superstar in the NBA or in any sport, and that is having what we would call the Mamba mentality. That 100% need to have the ball in your hands to take the last shot, that confidence that you can do anything in the world. We can see on the court that Anthony Edwards has this mentality, but if you need some extra proof, Julius Randle played with Kobe Bryant. He is playing with Anthony Edwards now, and he recently said, quote, "I've been around a lot of great players. He," Anthony Edwards, "is as confident in his belief in himself as it's Kobe-like. And I was around Kobe. He's not scared of any moment and he wants those moments. His belief and confidence in who he is as a player is the highest I've ever seen or been around for anybody." Those are some massive words, but this is Anthony Edwards we're talking about. At this point, we know Ant is willing to trash talk any player, and also he's not afraid to tell former presidents who he is.
He can hoop a little bit, huh? Just a little bit, huh?
Man, y'all better stand down. I'm the truth.
He's the truth.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Huh?
Don't talk. We ain't gonna do all that.
LeBron. Right now, he just said he's the truth.
Tell him the whole context of the situation though. He said, "I'm okay." I said, "I'm the truth." He tripping. That's what happened.
And we've seen directly how this confidence impacts the Timberwolves as to close out games. They can rely on Ant to make things happen in the clutch. Against the Lakers in game 3 of round 1, the series was tied 1-1. The game was tied with around 4.5 minutes left in game 3. And it was here where Anthony Edwards went to work. First, he connected on a 3 versus Luka after a pick forced a switch. Then a minute later, he drew practically the entire Lakers team on him on a drive to the basket and found an open Nas Reed for a wide open 3. Moving forward with 2 minutes 20 seconds left, now it's Ant versus LeBron, and Ant just goes to work on LeBron and avoids the help for a finish at the rim. Then on defense, he let his presence be known too, getting a stop on Rui Hachimura when the Lakers desperately needed a basket. This was originally called a foul, but the coach's challenge overturned it. The ball went to Minnesota, and with a minute left now, here's Anthony Edwards isoing, rising up, dagger 3, bang. Ant even finished this game with another assist on the next possession, and in a game with Luka Doncic and LeBron James on the court, it was Anthony Edwards who clearly took over as the star among stars. If you have the best player on the court in any given game, you are going to have a very good chance to win that game. But in order to close out a title this year though, Ant is of course going to need help, and that means Julius Randle is going to need to continue to step up. Last season for the Knicks, Randle averaged 24 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 5 assists per game before going down with an injury that forced him to miss the playoffs. And then Randle was traded for Karl Anthony Towns in what was considered a very controversial move that was more of a financial decision for the Timberwolves than anything. Criticism about this trade grew as Randle struggled a lot during the regular season. The fit in Minnesota was definitely not perfect to begin. Randle saw his numbers drop noticeably to 18.7 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 4.7 assists per game, as in New York, Karl Anthony Towns became an all-star starter for the Knicks. But in the playoffs, Randle has been a different animal, averaging 23.9 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game on over 50% shooting from the field. If he can continue to play at this level, Ant might just have the wingman he needs to go out and win a championship. Jaden McDaniels has also been excellent. He's raised his scoring output to 15.4 points per game. The Timberwolves as a whole are clicking at the perfect time, and right now, the NBA playoffs have proven one thing to us. The championship this season is wide open. No single team has established themselves as a clear-cut title favorite. The Thunder were that team going into the playoffs, but now we have no idea what to expect. But what we do know is that Anthony Edwards again has the possibility of being the best player on the court in any game that he plays in. I want to know, what do you think down below? Do the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards have a chance to actually go out and win the NBA championship? And so there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Again, only if you liked the video though. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.